For how long should a man be single? That's the dense crunch this evening. So who is in the house tonight? Pastor Steady Divine is steadily single after going through a divorce about, believe it or not, 13 years ago. He brings quite some experience in singleness. Philip Mponda, a marriage counselor, he holds that age doesn't matter, but money does, and determines when one should marry. Interesting. Kenny Musonda, aka Flavor, he has some advice for a 25-year-old man who believes that he is ready for marriage. According to Flavor, the 25-year-old man should just wait until he hits 30. Welcome to the Den, folks. So Flavor is breaking.
Okay, good stats.
Yeah.
Which ball's going in? Strike or what?
Solid.
No, it's a free table.
Solid.
This
No, it's
table-
gone in.
Yeah, it's simple a free table.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll still go for that solid.
Okay.
So you were waiting for to show the game.
I just want to show you a little gun.
Yeah, please do. Please do. And give him brand.
Okay. So,
Okay.
can I flip?
That's a good play. It was supposed to go in. Unfortunately, it's waiting for someone.
Oh.
That was a pastor's shot.
Oh.
Right. So, gentlemen, while you're playing that pool, Pastor Steady, you're welcome to the show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. It's
Yeah.
good to be out here.
Yeah.
Exciting.
You're well?
I'm great.
Still
I'm
single?
fant-
Still single, right?
Definitely single.
Okay.
Yes.
Why the word definitely?
No, but I mean the way he, you see, yeah, you're right. Because the way he was asking, still single. I had to make
Like
I
he's
had
doubting.
Exactly.
He's the doubting Thomas.
No, wait,
Yes.
no, wait.
I think it's a normal question. Are you still single?
Yeah.
No, he didn't ask that.
He
way.
knows. He knows.
All right, can I tell you why I was asking that question? You've been single for how long? Over 10 years now?
Yes, over 10 years.
All right, but you've got a chick, I mean, you have a girlfriend?
No.
All right. Flav, how are you doing?
Great man, how are you?
So let me maintain the theme of the question. You're still married?
Yeah. He had to think twice.
Awesome.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Somebody okay?
I'm good.
All right.
Sure.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Yes.
One thing that has been bothering me, because when I hear that you've been single, Pastor Steady, for 13 years, I find that very interesting. Are there any plans to change the narrative?
Definitely. 100%. But you see,
After
unfortunately,
what, 20 years or so?
20 years, that's like,
That's a lifetime.
I like to say better grown old single than married wrong.
I think that sounds better.
So, but what's the plan? When do you intend to?
I feel,
Because when you tell me you don't have a girlfriend now and you've been single for 10 years,
yeah.
what happens if you find a girl after 5 years?
Well, it will happen. I mean, I see people that have gotten married at 50, so
Yeah.
I'm not 50 yet, so there's still hope for me. So yeah, so I hope it happens soon because I like to tell people that I'm the marriage type. But again, just because you feel like you must marry doesn't mean that you must make it happen there and then, because that's where people make the mistake.
I see.
So you have to make sure that you are marrying someone that you are really building a relationship that is long term.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flavor, apart from Pastor Steady, do you have another guy, another friend who has been single? I mean, he's his situation is after, going through divorce.
Yeah.
Do you have any friends who have had this situation?
Yeah, a couple of them who have never married before.
How
Good
is it?
job, well-paid job. The guy's got everything, but he's not married. He feels he's not ready, and it's okay.
But you also realize that there's a movement called, most Zambians don't know about that movement. It's called the Red Pill movement. These are men.
Red Pill movement.
Yeah, these are men that have vowed not to get married.
Yeah.
So,
And there are many so far.
yeah. And that's a trend that is actually happening. So these are really necessary
Just into
conversations
business,
to have.
just business, making money, and
Yeah.
doing all this, but for marrying, it's on the left.
Okay, those are special cases. Let's talk about the ordinary. It's your turn actually.
It's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too short, right? Too short.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was about to say, Mr. Mponda, that ideally, I think I could be wrong. A man must get married by 30. Or must marry rather, if you like.
I would disagree because for me, I married at 24.
Okay.
So at that time,
24. When was that?
you can I'm over 50
You can
years,
Google.
so you can try to find it.
Yeah.
But I'm a senior. Yeah. So the challenge of marriage of yesterday and the marriage of today, Brian, are two different scenarios.
Yeah, true.
So if you want to have a problem, combine the two, then you have problems.
Okay, so for how long? First of all, and I think we've got three categories here. We've got those who've never married.
Yeah.
Then you've got those who are divorced. Then you've got those who lost their spouses. So let's start with those who have never married. For how long should one be single? Maybe the easiest question is, at what age do you marry?
I think traditionally, 28, 30, you should be getting married.
Traditionally?
Yeah.
I thought traditionally is lower than that.
No,
Tradition actually is for me, the tradition is much earlier.
Yeah.
It could be earlier than that in his time.
Yeah.
Now the narrative has changed. Things are different.
things
You
are
understand? These days people want to go to school, do their PhD and whatever it is, and now they're thinking of getting married. So traditionally now, in modern day, you would say 28, 30, that's fine. But you see, there's nothing wrong with getting married after 30. It can be 35, 38, depending on how you feel.
And they say life begins at 40,
All right.
so you still have a vacuum of making improvements.
So do you agree that you should, as a guy at 30, should be married?
Well, I think people marry for different reasons. And when you understand the reason why you're getting married, it's a different story. But it worked.
That one was fake.
What has happened is like
that
you
one was
married
fake.
because you made someone's child pregnant.
No, but you also know when you're flavor and favor is on your.
Oh,
Come on.
yo. Come on
drop it
now.
like it's hot.
You get those.
Come on now.
Drop it like it's hot. Yeah. So I think it's different when you find the right person, the right fit. I feel, and the conditions allow, then it works out. So I wouldn't want to put an age, to say you could marry at this. Of course, it must be legal age, but it changes. So it depends on what you're working with, at what age you must marry. But also the other thing, I always tell friends that have been married now, I said, you see, the time you got married, it was easy. This time is different.
It is.
If you go on the dating scene, the struggle will be real. I had a friend of mine who came, he lost his wife, and he came and told me and says, now it makes sense why you've been single this long.
Yeah.
Because I've been out in these streets.
Yeah.
It ain't safe.
Yeah.
And what the man of God is saying is very real. The scenarios are different. We can't keep the same things the way they used to be. This is why in our area conversation, remember, we are looking at the age. Yeah, the age at that time was very paramount in somebody's life.
But look, here's the thing. By the way, I've got Chiwantu here, and
For some, for the brothers.
And I've got some nuts as well, but I'm not sure if I should give Pastor Steady. I don't know, man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Be futuristic.
Yeah, I know, right?
Be futuristic.
Yeah, so the thing is, all of you take Chiwantu, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this has no marriage connotation at all. So, yeah.
But also one day,
I was about to say that the reason why
Favor is killing it. Favor is on his side.
So the reason why I was talking about what I think you should marry at 30. Can you imagine you marry at 35? You and your child, there's a 35-year difference. How do you then relate to the child? So you're going to have a child asking for a PS4, for instance, and because the age gap is too much, it won't make sense to you. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm getting.
So you want to be able to watch a movie, sit down and watch a movie with the children because you're the same. But if your child tells you, I want to watch this cartoon, and there's that age difference, it becomes hard for you to relate with your child.
No, it is.
It becomes very. I mean, my son is turning 15. And 41.
See?
Now you see my other worry I have is when I get married, the gap between my son and the
second
born. So these, I feel for me, these are conversations we should be honest to really have. Because also you're giving the married people first.
you know, man of God.
I the segregation in this place.
I have one thing that I would love to come in.
Okay.
There's no marital influence here.
If you look at the issue that is brought and the gap that you brought up, those are real issues. And we shouldn't, on those issues, we need to be serious. Because I've seen a child where a child just comes on, he sits on the sitting room and say, Mommy, you are pregnant. Because the gap of my last was supposed to be my last, and my last born, the gap is 19 years.
The last born and?
The last born to the one who was there as the last born, there's a gap of 19 years.
Wow.
So, the younger one now becomes monga erati ya munyumba, he runs everywhere munyumba. To him he's the only. You get the point. So it comes to the issue that our man was saying. Marriage depends on how a man has necessitated his plans. And financially, because look at now, you're just from talking about financials. Brian, you can't marry now without money. I'm just from having a wedding of my daughter. Brian, these things are now becoming too expensive, and I think. So
why not go with something that suits your pocket? Look, if you can't afford, and I know where you're going. First of all, it's expected that when you find a woman, you must have a white wedding, you must have a kitchen party. If you don't have the money, why would you want to go through all those things?
Yeah, but that one, you need to be realistic on the other part. There is competition among ladies. The most competition in marriages brand right now is between ladies. If your mother has a friend who had a better wedding than you, the next wedding on that will be a kafafu. A man is from nowhere will come in. So weddings are becoming a competition stage.
All right. So is it safe to say that what should determine when you marry, it's the money?
No, it's the maturity of a guy. It takes long for us to mature.
Mr. Potter, don't you think now you're contradicting yourself?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, because I think you just say that you can't. Whose what is this?
It's mine.
It's his.
It's going to go in instead of the
his. Mine is here.
So I was saying, because you said you can't marry without money these days.
Yes, in nowadays, yes.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that for a guy, apart from you having to think about how old you are, you must also think about how fat your wallet is.
Yeah, you have to, because everything depends on finances.
So money is the determining factor.
It becomes a factor.
I thought his point was going to be, you can't marry when you don't have a steady income. And I'm not talking about your steady.
Yes.
You can't marry when you don't have a steady income, in the sense that you have to have somewhere to start from, but not necessarily money to have a wedding. I thought that was where he was heading to, because even if you don't do a wedding or a kitchen party, it's still marriage. Traditionally, you can do that. So but what's your income at the end of the day?
But again,
at 30, you must have a stable income.
Thank you.
Basically, if you're a person, you have to.
I think one of the things I feel like we don't get honest enough to have these conversations.
Yeah.
The younger people right now, their challenge is.
No, sport.
Now
I hit the.
Oh yeah, so
the ball has moved.
Oh yeah, so it's too short for him.
So I think the other thing you see there's, and I'm glad we're having this conversation. I always say and I always repeat these things. There's a difference between marrying a woman that is looking for a man to provide and marrying a woman who's materialistic.
Yeah.
Now, what you are talking about, what the conversations we are having now, is not an issue of provision. Is we live in a generation that has become too materialistic. So even when a guy has a stable income, like what Flavor said, some women want to get married.
Yeah.
So there's a bigger problem than just having a stable income. There's a problem of greed in this generation.
Okay.
Because they want much more. So if a guy can do a backyard, simple family wedding, the woman will say, no, I want it at a hotel.
Okay,
I know that it sounds like we are running away from the topic. But the truth of the matter is that why should that be an issue? Why should the woman that you want to marry control you and tell you what you want to do? Because if there's no money, there's no money. You understand?
But
they don't
I like
that. We have the means.
No, they don't understand these guys. To them, once their friends have convinced them, tell them all sorts of these issues, then they go for that. And if you say a different thing, so no, you.
No, I know we may be diverting.
No,
but I like what Flavor and Mr. Mponda said.
Wow.
Something that is key. There's not so many men that have. I wanted to use the word. There's not so many men with a backbone to say what they have said. A lot of men are sissies. They give in into what a woman wants.
All right. So.
And you're going to give in what the woman wants in the name of love, which is very wrong.
And you spend the rest of your life giving in.
Yeah.
You remember?
Look, for me, the issue about why I think that at 30 you must. That was close. Why I think that at 30 you must marry is the fact that, first of all, as a young man who is, say, 18, you must have targets. You can't say I'll marry whatever, because I think that ideally, okay, at 18 you're thinking, look, I'll be done with my university, say, at 25.
Yeah.
I may get a job at 26 or 27. Okay.
It's your time.
You must tell yourself, I want to have my first child at 31, 32. Okay? And you must tell yourself, so in short, you must line up things. You must have a timeline. You know what I mean?
The game is done.
Oh, who's won? Oh, wow.
Stampon, that's your 10.
Bro, these things are not.
So my point is, you really have to have a timeline. At 30, surely, you must settle down.
But that's the ideal.
Not everyone, bro.
What you're explaining is the ideal. That may not be what's happening on the ground.
No, bro.
Yeah, it's because no one is talking about it. Because
Exactly.
there's no one reminding you that, look, dude, life is short.
But unfortunately, also the other thing is there must be a reason why you want to get married and do what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
You know, so it shouldn't be because my ancestors and my village people are saying I must marry. Everyone has got their personal, and everyone has got a personal agenda, so you have to be on the lookout for that, so that you don't give into, so you don't give in into things that you are not ready for.
Yeah.
And I think that, guys, we have to be sincere when it comes to being single and getting married. It's a personal thing. It should be a personal thing.
Yeah.
No matter how much money I make at 28 or 29 or 30, as long as I feel I'm not ready to get married, let me be single.
Yeah.
Because with the number of divorces we're seeing, people killing each other, all these marriages that are not working, sometimes it's because it's peer pressure. You just married because a friend of mine had a wedding and
No, but here's what I think. Look,
You found the
when you set what?
You need another boy here.
No, there's only one here.
Yeah, what's that?
When you set a target, then you begin working towards it. You know what I mean? So if you tell yourself at 30 you must get married, surely at 23, 25 you must begin to look for somebody. The search must start at 25.
Brian, I think. Let me say something.
Sorry. Brian, the yesterday's one, our parents were choosing women for us. it was not us making decisions. But in the modern era, it's us who makes decisions. Even when someone will tell you, Brian, that woman, try to dig deeper.
Yeah, so Mr. Porter, that's what I'm saying. When you set a target, okay, you tell yourself, at 30, I must marry. You know that at 21, at 23, you must begin to look for somebody who is going to be your wife.
But now, this is where men now start trying to test here and there to find a suitable. That's a wrong method.
Then begin to.
And then, Brad, the other thing, I love your passion towards the.
Come on, don't say my passion. Say you love my question.
But you sound like picking a wife or a partner is like going to a shop and buying a shoe.
No, that is why I'm saying
You can set a goal.
Yeah, 2 shots.
But within the goal that you've set to meet the partner you want to meet, it's not a guarantee that you
get the right one.
You go and get the right one.
No, it's not.
So I think you can set a goal. Yeah. Well, by the way, I tell people and says I didn't plan to be this single for this long.
Yeah.
It's not even a plan.
No, we'll get to find out why.
No, there's a boy that went in.
Yeah. No, and it was a white one.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
I like that one.
For now, we're going to be a bit steady.
Yes.
So I was saying that, guys, you can't just live life. You know what I mean? You can't just live life without goals. You know what I mean? No, I'm not saying that, of course, at 30 you will find. There's no guarantee. You know what I mean? If God wants you to find a wife at 35, you'll find a wife at 35. But you must line up your life in such a way that nothing happens by accident.
Bro,
you know what I mean?
Brian, let me come in. Brian, I have a friend. This one. I have a friend. I've got 4 friends. These friends are doing well, Brian, but they have made the decision not to marry. These have got tracts. Any make of a vehicle is in the yards, but none of them have made a decision to marry. We've argued. They have just put on their foot, say, Mana, we've had enough for the experience of life searching here and there. This time, no. We'll just look at what we have and manage our life.
Okay, so are we agreeing that a man should marry by 30?
Me, I don't
Under
agree.
normal circumstances, yes, unless you have your own reasons. But also, yeah.
It'll be best to marry at 30, but it shouldn't be a law.
Yeah. But also here is advice to you who is not married and you're 25. Don't marry until you're 30 and above. Don't marry until you're 30 and above.
So what if I marry at 25, what's wrong with that?
See, you haven't seen life. You need to experience life.
And they say you've not matured yet.
You have to experience life.
By experiencing life, what
Just
do you mean?
know things. You know,
have
Brian,
several girlfriends?
Brian.
No, not necessarily that. You're still young.
Leisure, Brian. We are talking about leisure, Brian. Learning things from what is in your home, learning things outside, picking up ideas from those other guys. And then you sit down and you compare notes, and then you find something interesting among the issue at hand.
What do you do if you find your soulmate at 25?
Wait until you're 30.
And she'll be waiting for you until you're 30?
Because you see one thing with women. You get married. Brian, you get married at 25. At 30, you feel like you'll be married for the rest of your life. You want to divorce. You understand? Not that after 30 you can't divorce, but 25 is too young. Put your life together. If you're still making money, invest your money, do a business or two.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you're learning life because marriage is not.
So you know what the danger is there?
I'm still playing.
Oh,
Yeah.
the too short?
No, I scored my ball.
Oh, okay. So what
Wiring them.
wiring?
I like that.
So what I was saying is this: the danger of if you're established, okay, at 25 you've got everything, you've got you've got a good job, everything, is that when you're going to marry, this person finds you developed, and you've got everything, you don't have respect for them.
Who says that?
You want, well, that's what happens usually. You want to have somebody.
Do we have time to go into that?
Listen, guys.
I find that guy very weird. I really find it weird.
Listen. Because can I finish my point? My point is this. If you grow up together with your wife, okay, they see you grow both physically, financially, and everything. they become part of you. It's even hard for you to leave them when you hit a jackpot. You know what I mean? But if you get a wife who has found you developed, those are the cases where the guy butters the wife. Okay, the guy has no regard for the wife because he tells her, look, you found me already.
I have everything.
I've got everything.
I don't think that's true in the sense that it's about the type of person you are, Brian. It's about the respect you have for a partner. It's about the type of person that you've married. Whatever she finds you with doesn't really matter. That's immaterial to the marriage setup.
All right.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because
You don't feel like they'll be connected to you because of what you have or who you are, instead of.
Because these are supposed to be two different
Pastor
scenarios.
Steady. At this level where you are, you should know who's there for material things and who's there genuinely. You should. By the time a man is putting his foot down, you would have already assessed.
At 30, are you able
Among them, you would have chosen
wait,
one.
at 30, are you able to tell that this woman last minute
Even at 25,
Very
you
much.
can tell.
Very much you are.
Even at 25, you can tell. It's very simple. So if I marry someone at 30 and they find me with everything and I don't respect them, that's weird. First of all, what's that? You know?
And I think that's not a problem for most men. It's a problem with women.
Yeah, it's not.
Because a man could be as highly successful and go to a compound and pick a wife.
Thank you. NLS.
Like, really?
Talk. I love when you talk.
But in a very interesting point. He says, you can't marry at 25. And I asked a question. What do you do when you find your soulmate at 25?
You wait until you're 30. You grow up with them. You grow up together with them. You study them. You will know in that process. It's called courtship. You will know in that process whether they're there for the money or not.
So you court for 5 years.
Even 10.
Even more than 5 years.
The women are not liking this.
I'm telling you.
You should like it because.
But one thing you must know, Flavor. One thing you must know, Mr. Mponda, is that when you find a woman, you're not the only guy in the world. Okay?
We know that.
She was not other guys. So why should you waste someone's time?
Women themselves tell us
Run.
when they set their eyes on
Run.
us, it's us.
Run. We can be the four of us here.
That is weird.
No. It's you who is now a
We're not
problem.
true. Look, you'll find a woman who's 23, yeah? And she's not ready to wait that long.
The issue is
Because she's
simple.
wife material.
Brand.
Because if you're going to date a woman for 5 years, obviously you're going to do certain things you must not do before you're married.
You were targeted. Listen. You were targeted. Listen.
Brand. Marriage is not something that is. That's why men always makes mistakes. There are certain things, Brand, we must never use or say them towards women. There are certain things, Brand, that love is built based on somebody's trust in you.
Yeah.
Period, Brand. If you are dating someone has trust in you, you have peace at home. In that relationship, you won't have mangwamwa. You won't have the doyo coming in.
But you see, my point, Flavor.
But I don't agree with what Flavor and Mr. Mbonda said about 10 years or 5 years. That's a long time to really date someone.
That's my point.
It's really a long time. At some point, you gotta know when.
And then you told me that you not commit fornication.
And the same men, Brian, and the same men will meet a girl in 3 months and engage her.
Yes, and leave the one that dated for 5 years.
You know what happens after? They will have problems as soon as they get married because they married a stranger.
Really?
Yeah.
Most men have married and they're happy.
Are you sure? Yeah, out there.
All right. We don't
So how long do you have to date to estrange the woman?
It's very simple. If the woman is a good one, you don't need even to worry and take yourself. The way she comes, how does your heartbeat tells you? Is it comfortable? Is it secure with you? It's just from there that the signs all comes out. There's certain things we just speak for them of just having in leisure, for lack of a better term.
So for me,
Have you ever been in a situation where someone says, I married the wrong person?
yeah.
And those are situations we must always understand what happened.
So that's my point. When you find a soulmate at 25, marry her, lest she'll leave you and you end up with a
A
stranger.
soulmate will come with you with signs, mighty one. Signs will come to say the one coming is an angel.
Yeah, but
you want to struggle in you.
Mr. Point, that's what I'm saying.
If they leave you, then they
I like it. Let Mr. Mbonda speak. I want to hear. I like that point where it's going.
You get the point. When you have a chosen one, even when you are sleeping, you wake up. There are women we marry mdala yako ti ukoni kachongena pa gate house tukamweko tubiri somewhere face to face. But this is a woman you thought you had married the right person. Wenda munyumba mdala kama mama.
So Steady, do you agree also that if you find at 25 you shouldn't marry?
No, I don't agree. I don't agree.
That the reason why we have many
Because I feel like I always say that maturity does not come with age. Sometimes age comes alone.
Okay. Without maturity.
Exactly. So
it's a long, lonely walk. Yeah.
So some men at 25, they're doing what men at 40 couldn't do.
Yeah, I have a lot of guys of my friends.
So that's why I said I don't agree.
I have friends who have done that.
Okay.
They have made money.
Can we make a common ground here? That if you find a woman who you think is your soulmate at 25 married.
Yes.
Flavor?
No. Wait until you're mature. Your soulmate.
When you find the right one, no need of worries.
So when you find the right one at 25, do you marry?
Yes, you do.
All right.
Or you don't have the network experience. No,
I'm just saying that if someone is your soulmate, as you put it, they will work for you as long as they can, because that's.
But if someone is your soulmate, why do you want to wait?
No. I'm trying by all means not to divert into the age issue when it comes to women, because a woman at 25 might be way too mature than a guy at 25. Yes,
but if they are your, the issue is if they are your soulmate, it means there's nothing that will split you apart, because you're meant to be together. And
that's
to be
right.
together.
But also maybe you need some maturity to do. Maybe your age came along without maturity. You need some maturity to join me. Understand?
No, but what if your age has come without maturity, but your soulmate is the one that brings maturity to age?
Therein lies the problem. You don't want to be in a relationship where you are always second best. Not that women should always be second best.
I don't think it's second best.
No. Let me just finish. Yeah. Second best in the sense that in every situation it has to be how we're sorting out issues. In every situation it has to be who has to act mature. In every situation it has to be who's basically acting the bigger person. No. So you need to understand that as soon as you get into a relationship, you study your partner very well and you know them, who they are and how far they can go.
You know what I mean?
Flavor, can I add in something?
Sorry. What I mean when I say the woman brings maturity to you is that, look, to a large extent, the way you behave before you get married is different from how you behave when you marry. Because you now have somebody who looks up to you, okay? Before you're married, you get a 10,000 kwacha, you blow it up, okay? And I know that that's quite relative, but an average Zambian guy will get a 10,000 kwacha before they're married, they'll blow it up. But when you marry, priorities change. You think about investment, you think about buying stuff at home, you know what I mean? Yeah. So in that context, if a 25-year-old who you think is immature finds a mature woman and one that he loves, there comes the maturity.
There's also the same brand that women behave differently as soon as you marry them. They are not who you really know before you marry them.
And you give yourself to you have to give time for you to understand.
So you're on the trajectory of you changing as soon as you marry, you also could be dealing with a person who is totally different as soon as you marry them.
That sounds scary.
No. It's just
I felt it. I wanted to run. When I heard Flavor say that, I wanted to say, I'm out of here.
It's just the truth.
That sounds scary.
What he's told you is the truth. What he has told you is the truth.
But I wanted to say something. I wanted to say something with what Flavor said. You know, there's a scripture that says a wise woman builds a home. You'll never find a scripture that says a wise man builds a home. So when he was talking about maturity and the woman bringing the maturity, so it means there are spaces that a wife, when you marry a wife,
they'll feel it.
they'll feel it. So she'll help you upgrade in spaces that when you've not gotten to. Now that's a wife, not a chick, because some people take a chick and want to make her a wife. So we have to be very. There's a thin line on that one. So because you just get a chick and she will blow you up.
That's a point where if you're giving a talk, people just clap.
Yes.
Is it not true?
But listen, all right, let's move on from the singles and talk about divorcees. Once you divorce, after how long should you?
Again, it's the same. It doesn't change. The principle is the same. It's not how long. It's have you found a quality partner to marry. That's what really changes the game. So it's not really.
You say for 40 years single.
Well, 40 years is a long.
You wasn't gonna damn it.
But 40 years is a long time. I kind of feel like.
No, 40 years is a long time.
You know, I mean, I don't put age to it, but I feel like it's about marrying the right person. And this is why you notice people that have gone through divorces, now they're on the fourth divorce. Because you didn't heal.
Attitude comes to change where you didn't expect, and then you become, so we want her change. Okay, maybe let me give her some. And then she keeps on changing. And then you reach an extent where you're on a crossroad. What should I do? My kids are being mistreated by this woman. So there are so many.
Listen, first of all.
But before coming, Pastor Steady, can I beg to disagree with you? Yeah. I think that for divorcees, the narrative is different as compared to.
I was about to bring that point.
To the ones that have never been married, because now you know everything. So in your looking for a partner,
you know what you're looking for.
You have specifics.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're looking for in this case, because, and the last thing you want is to start comparing the person you're going to find to your ex-wife or the one that you lost and whatever it is.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it would take a bit more time for you after divorcing, because you know the do's and don'ts and the weaknesses and the strengths.
So in short, it should be easy for you to find a wife, you think?
No, it will take longer.
It will take longer in the sense that you might not exactly find what you're looking for, because you know what you want to deal with, or you don't want to step into the same space you were with the previous person.
But sorry, Flavor. Shouldn't that help you? Look, because you've been married before, and you're coming from, I don't want to call it a bad marriage rather, but you're coming from an experience, okay? And
let's just say it's a bad experience.
A bad experience. And when
For argument's sake,
yes,
let's say
it's a bad experience that led to a divorce, right? So when you sit down, you know what went wrong. Okay, you will have an idea to say, I think there was that mistake. That woman I married, we're not at the same wavelength. And so now that we are here, I think I must look for a woman who's got this to avoid going through my previous experience. But so it should be easy for you, shouldn't it?
Even the same comes to patience. Men at times we rush to make decisions regarding some relationships, regarding some marriages. It is us mostly who rushes things, which is a mistake, and we let on regret.
So for you, Mr. Mpona, the question now is, for how long should one stay single before they get into their second marriage?
That one for me, it can take even 5 years. Someone just.
That's maximum?
Yes, because in 5 years.
Doesn't that depend on how you found yourself single?
Well, in this case,
yes, it does.
No, we're talking about divorce. So if you were divorced.
Yeah, because it could be a normal divorce where things didn't work. It was a bad marriage. It could be that you lost your spouse. It could be that.
No, we'll get to the issue of losing the spouse, because there are other talking points also that come with that. Yeah, but so you're saying 5 years. Steady.
I feel like.
Are you the right person?
I'm actually listening here. Mr. Mpona said 5. I think I've done over 13 now since my divorce. So I've not been able to get back to the scene and get married 13 years later. Of course, there's critical things that Flavor said.
But you've had. Should you call them girlfriends?
I'm too old to have a girlfriend.
All right, but you've had women in your life.
You're a woman.
No, he's a man.
He said he's a man. But you've been seeing women, right?
Yes, I have.
All right.
It's your turn.
Yes.
Was there anybody who came close to
your boy?
Yes, very close.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was somebody that came close, and it just practically didn't work out. I guess maybe it's what Flavor said about really like the time and the process of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I kind of feel like you're single, not because you want to be single, but
I knew. I wanted you to start from
it's circumstances beyond your control.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, if you
So for you, you don't tie to age, do you?
age or time,
Or time frame rather.
Time frame.
Beg your pardon. Yeah.
I don't want to tie it to a time frame.
Let's go.
Okay.
But as long as you've done, and that's the problem with most men that have gone through divorces is more they express, they don't heal. Actually, Flavor talked about time, but there's also men that once they leave one marriage, they're back in the streets. And they haven't healed. They're looking for someone to be able to.
And those are
bring
terrible
the
mistakes.
Closure.
You
to help them.
can't embark on a journey before you have understood what happened in the
Yeah.
other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Flavor, after how long?
I don't think it matters, really. It's about finding the right person, because you can say 5 years and then you get into another wrong marriage. What happens?
Yeah.
You divorce again?
All right.
No. So there's no time frame. You can find the right one in 3 months.
Yeah, true.
All right.
And I agree.
No, 3 months, no.
No. You
No,
can't.
no, no,
Let
no.
me say something. Let me say something.
Wait.
You can
Or marry them
them
later.
later.
Okay.
He didn't say marry
All right,
her
yeah.
in 3 months.
That clarification is very important.
No, I actually didn't say it. You just.
said you can
I don't know why you got triggered.
No. I wanted the clarification.
Brand, are you smoking?
No. There could be a viewer out there. There could be a viewer out there who's watching, and they'll get misled. So I wanted that to come out very clear.
No, but let me say. I think what
So
Flavor
you can't
said.
marry 3 months after your divorce, can you?
No, you can't.
Unless you were
That's too
unless you had a girlfriend when you were married.
Or unless you already had a spare wheel.
Yes.
So you just want to the
Yes.
bad one or the bemba one out.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Whether you have a spare wheel or not, 3 months is too late to have to
Yeah, too soon. Now let's get to those who have lost a spouse. The wife has died. Because there also lies some controversy. You have, and I've seen it, society expects you to marry after, is it 2 years?
More than that, actually.
But is that
After you lose a wife.
I think that, yeah.
Others will tell you to say,
I think
it depends. If a man
that's
remains,
unfair.
okay? If a man remains,
Yeah.
there is that kind of mourning. He can mourn her as long as he wants, until that thing comes down. Because men are different.
Yeah.
The others would love to, "Chinachitika," so we need to move on. So circumstances, Brian, will always give us different views and opinions in the same over this topic.
Okay.
Others can keep that home without marrying until his mind, there are men who loved their women. There are women who loved their men. But unfortunately, circumstances came.
I think also, after all is said and done, it's not easy to replace a good wife or a good spouse.
Yeah,
so
true.
some people are going to go for a long time, 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
because every time they try and start something with someone, all they see are wrong things that the wife didn't do.
Yeah.
Or if it was my wife, she would have done ABCD.
Yeah.
If it was so, then he puts brakes on that. The truth of the matter is, those that want to marry now or 2 years after, maybe the marriage was not very stable. Maybe the partner was not as good as people thought.
Yeah, true.
But when you have
wait,
a
but wait.
good spouse,
No, but apart from that, Flavor, as a man, first of all, let's imagine you've got kids, all right, you've got daughters, and when your wife has died, I mean, we're rare at home as men, okay? When we're home, it's because we've got little time, but we're usually out there, and the person who remains looking after the family is your wife. So you want your and we, to a large extent as men, we really have influence on the morals of our children. It's the mother who's looking after them and helping them grow up in the right way. So you get worried and say, look, if my kids grow up without anyone mentoring them up, then it's a problem. So you want to marry as soon as possible.
But that's for me. The as soon as possible is really what my biggest challenge is.
Okay.
Because you are trying to fix the situation of loneliness, but you may also end up creating a bigger problem.
yeah,
So for me, it's not the issue of finding someone to come and fix your house.
Yeah.
It's really bringing in the right
basically
person.
finding a replacement.
Yeah. So I think for me, you have to really think harder on that, because then it begins to bring a problem. Flavor said, especially if you had a good wife.
So it's not possible to be. I think why would you be? I'm sorry to say. I know this sounds a bit odd, but why would you want to mourn for 10 years?
Factors are so many, Brian. There are women that can change a man, no matter how stubborn, no matter how arrogant, no matter how ignorant that guy was. There are women, Brian, who understand you from your toes down there to your hair. They will know. You just
Where can
enter.
I find one?
She knows that. She knows that my man.
Give you a number.
My man has been. My man now, my man there are women, Brian, who have kept the marriage because she understands you, but she knows you.
I'm sorry to say, but she's dead. Listen.
No, let him finish.
Hey, Brian. Wait,
You asked why they want to join their spouse for 10 years.
All right, go ahead.
So he's basically answering you.
There's natural love that you can't easily forget about it.
I know, Mr.
But now,
Yeah,
listen, Brian. Marriages where love flourish, marriage of such a nature, Brian, becomes a problem to the kids, becomes a problem to the surviving spouse.
Yeah.
Because in that family, there was unity of oneness.
All right, who's playing?
It's him.
Okay, I'm the one playing.
All right.
Okay, so let's look at things differently, but the fact remains, if we can manage love in our relationships, we'll have less quarrels and less death killing each other in a home.
Okay.
Unless otherwise.
Yeah. Yes, she was a good wife, but she's gone. And life must move on.
But you.
And I'm not saying life must move on in 2 weeks, 3 months, whatever. No, I'm saying mourn for 2 years, 3 years. Don't mourn for 10 years.
It's not the time that
It's
really.
not you to set a time.
Time, certain things are out of your control. You can control what you desire, you can't control what another person desires. So if you put a time frame, then you make it really difficult for one to process what they are dealing with and going through.
All right.
So if you put a 10-year time frame, it becomes very difficult. You don't decide if you lose a partner, if you lose a wife, because you marrying just because you must marry, because you're afraid of the 10 years, you marry someone, you marry a knife, and you will miss your wife more at that point. Because
Marry a
you're
what?
a knife.
And
You will miss your wife more.
Yeah, because if you marry a knife, my brother, you have no peace in your home.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is that we should not put a time frame to
No, don't put a time frame. I actually tell people it's not time.
50 years,
No,
40 years.
Brand,
No.
you are now confusing.
No, I'm not confusing you. When you leave it open like that.
These are things that matters most in our everyday affairs.
Yeah.
And the way you are bringing them up, you don't know how many people we are helping right now.
I understand, Mr. Pond, and I understand all that. But there's some people who I think take forever to marry.
The Bible says God makes everything beautiful in His own time, not in our time.
If that man decides to keep the kids and enjoy life without a wife, he will still mourn her. He doesn't want to marry.
But then
We have friends
who looks
who
after-
have refused to marry, but they are well looking after the family.
So I was about to give you a time. I was about to.
Sounds like a gamble.
No, let me tell you something. I was about to tell you my schedule. Every morning I take my son to school. I pick him up. I go and work. And then later in the evening we cook.
Yeah, lucky it's a son, it's a daughter.
No, it's the same thing.
Daughter, in fact.
No, I think it's a
You would have
different.
limited the father in terms of
I-
how far you can go with the daughter. You can't just, you know what I mean? But a son, it's easy to interact, but you've got daughters.
Yeah.
They need a motherly figure.
It's not all. In fact, daughters need fathers.
As a matter of fact,
Yeah.
There's certain things you can discuss with the daughter as a father.
No, the daughter you can. Me, I've raised a daughter, mana. A daughter can be your best friend. Just be honest from square
There's
one.
certain biological things you can discuss with the
No.
Why not?
Ija time inapita mwana isepa nitafika mu nyumba nimankazika sepa dining table bankara kwa muna bankara upenda mkazi wangu atilia hapa ni open ulipe na makizi.
Vana walira pamatanda ni masidwa ya we.
So you know what? We have to go, guys. Thanks for coming. While the cameras go off, this game has to come to an end. So let's see who's going to win.
all right.
Yeah, and
I was doing it for TV, now let me hammer it.
There we go.